All right, everybody, what's up? What's going on? Welcome to the AMG Podcast. We're here with Brother Craig Cooper, Larry Woods. I'm your guy, Mondo Grimes. We are here on Friday, January, whatever day it is. This year is already flying. What day is it, Woods? The what? The what?
Nice.
The,
The eight,
the
the
ninth?
ninth.
Okay, good.
Well, I'm
All
about to
right,
say the eighth.
awesome. Yeah, man, I appreciate that, Coop. I was like, what day is it? Man, what a phenomenal time to be in the finance industry, to be alive, man. What's going on, fellas? How you doing, Coop?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
Yeah, man, surviving that cold weather up in Maryland, but it's warming up a little bit. It's great.
Get a little heat wave here. It's 45 today. So
There you go. Look, hey, man, 26 treating y'all all right. That's what's going on in San Antonio, Woods? Y'all got snow?
Feel free to send something this way. How about
Right
that?
here?
If we jump back up into 70, it is not fun for
Oh,
January.
yeah, yeah. I know because you're I wouldn't say you're a snowbird, but you like fall and winter weather and all that fun stuff.
When it's time to be cold, I like for it to be cold.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I'm gonna let you have all that too. Give, give me the fall and summer all day long. All day long. Good stuff, man. Hey, we today we're gonna have some more fun, man. People have been really enjoying our conversations regarding these videos. We got a couple videos today we're gonna talk about. I'm excited about these, man. I know we have all watched it, but we want to share with the audience and let them see what we've been discussing and have a great conversation. Today's gonna be more, would you guys say more I don't know. Not it's not a critique, it's more of just it's empowering. Would you say that? It's an empowering,
Absolutely. Yes.
yeah. Yeah, an empowering conversation today. And we're going to highlight some things that will stick out to us. And of course, if you guys hear anything in these videos that you have a question about or whatever, just comment in the section in the comment section. Let us know what you're thinking and chat it out with us. So I'm going to share my screen, fellas, and we'll start with the first young lady. Where's she from? Woods? Where's this lady from?
Seems to be from the UK.
Oh, shoot, from the UK. All right, so let me go ahead and refresh the screen and pull this up so she can share with us.
Insurance, but there are two other policies that are actually just as important. So let me give you a very, very quick run through. Life insurance is a lump sum being paid out in the case of your death. This is actually for your dependents if you have any children or your loved ones like family members, so it can cover the costs of perhaps your mortgage, living expenses, funeral costs, etc. The payout is only triggered by the actual scenario of someone passing away. It is still very important and it does ease the burden of your loved ones in the unfortunate scenario. However, there is also critical illness cover and income protection that are just as important. Critical illness cover is a lump sum payout in the case where you have been diagnosed with a critical illness. Critical illnesses are typically cancer, stroke, heart attack, and some other scenarios, but the list is limited. The essence of critical illness cover is to cover medical costs, living expenses whilst you're unable to work perhaps, and just general expenses that you might have because you have been diagnosed with a critical illness. The trigger for your lump sum payout from critical illness cover is the actual diagnosis of an illness. And of course, not all illnesses are actually covered, so you have to make sure you check your specific policy to see what it is limited to. And lastly, one that I think is probably most important is income protection. This is a monthly income and typically a percentage of your salary in the case where you are unable to work, maybe due to injury or illness. The essence of this payout is to replace any kind of expenses or cover your costs while you are unable to make your usual income. The trigger for this policy is typically when you've been signed off work by a doctor, and it does have less limitations in terms of the illnesses that it covers, but it's still worth checking your policy to know what you're working with. So technically, life insurance is for your loved ones, whereas critical illness cover and income protection is for you. If you're hearing this and thinking, oh, I should be having one of those policies, then it is always worth speaking to a broker to explore your options and see which policy can suit you and your lifestyle best.
One more
Life
time.
insurance, but there are two other policies that are actually just as important. So let me give you a very, very quick run through. Life insurance is a lump sum being paid out in the case of your death. This is actually for your dependents if you have any children or your loved ones like family members, so it can cover the costs of perhaps your mortgage, living expenses, funeral costs, etc. The payout is only triggered by the actual scenario of someone passing away. It is still very important and it does ease the burden of your loved ones in the unfortunate scenario. However, there's also critical illness cover and income protection that are just as important. Critical illness cover is a lump sum payout in the case where you have been diagnosed with a critical illness. Critical illnesses are typically cancer, stroke, heart attack, and some other scenarios, but the list is limited. The essence of critical illness cover is to cover medical costs, living expenses whilst you're unable to work, perhaps, and just general expenses that you might have because you have been diagnosed with a critical illness. The trigger for your lump sum payout from critical illness cover is the actual diagnosis of an illness. And of course, not all illnesses are actually covered, so you have to make sure you check your specific policy to see what it is limited to. And lastly, one that I think is probably most important is income protection. This is a monthly income and typically a percentage of your salary in the case where you are unable to work, maybe due to injury or illness. The essence of this payout is to replace any kind of expenses or cover your costs while you are unable to make your usual income. The trigger for this policy is typically when you've been signed off work by a doctor, and it does have less limitations in terms of the illnesses that it covers, but it's still worth checking your policy to know what you're working with. So technically, life insurance is for your loved ones, whereas critical illness cover and income protection is for you. If you're hearing this and thinking, oh, I should be having one of those policies, then it is always worth speaking to a broker to explore your options and see which policy can suit you and your lifestyle best.
All right, fellas. Lots of wonderful information, though. I love this, man. This is awesome. So empowering. Thank you, young lady, from across the pond, for sharing this on your channel and your feeds. It's refreshing, I'll say, man, to hear someone sharing truth, empowering information, in a positive approach to the power of life insurance contracts versus some of the stuff we see sometimes.
Yes.
So kudos to her and whoever she's associated with doing that, man, because it's just great to hear good, empowering information. And she's not teaching or instructing on any sort of hustle and how to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, try the workaround. You know, she just straight up and down. This, you get a contract. This is what you could use it for. This and this. This is how it works. This is what it is. Contact someone if you want to know more about it. I mean, come on, that's fantastic. So, all right, let's start with you, Woods. Let's start with you. What stuck out to you, man? I got notes. I know Coop does too. I saw him writing. What stuck out to you, man?
The short but thoroughness of what life insurance policies or insurance policies can give you for living benefits, right? Again, we always hear the same scenario that when people hear life insurance, they go directly toward death, right?
Yeah.
Not realizing there's a ton of living benefits depending on the life insurance that you get,
Absolutely.
right? And she just went over 3 of them.
I love it. So the critical illness situation or rider, chronic, critical, all that, those living benefits, do you feel like that's focused on enough in our industry?
Absolutely not. No. Those are afterthoughts.
Why? Why do you think? This is your theory.
Depends on who the agent is. That's
Oh.
to me, that's an agent mindset to make sure the customer is completely knowledgeable of what's out there for them and their family. Right? So again, we've got, unfortunately, agents that just focus on the death benefit as well, not all the time focusing on the living benefits.
And if they do focus on one living benefit, it's usually one of them.
It's usually one, which is critical illness.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
sometimes
no,
that's
I was
defaulted in. A lot of times it's defaulted in.
Right. But I was thinking about cash value part of it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like we
I
see
mean,
a lot
that's
of
the main benefit of the conversation most of the time.
Right. Exactly.
Cash value.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's usually the leading one.
Correct.
And then the death benefit, and then you find, client finds out about the, critical and chronic and terminal illness riders that are built into the contract. They find out if they read their contract when they get it. Like it wasn't even a discussion, to your point. So yeah.
Think about if it's not even discussed, and then they come up with that, and then they're not used to going through the pages of their policies, don't even know they have that thing covered. Think about that, because it was never mentioned doing
exactly.
101.
Exactly. What Cooper are you gonna say?
No, I was going to just say that, they're, almost considered like ancillary benefits that you kind of gloss over until one of these events happen. Now they become primary. right?
That right
But
there.
your point, it's either in terms of strategies, it's death benefit. Let me get the highest death benefit possible and add some supplemental, insurance to that, or cash value. How can I max fund my, policy so that I can get as much cash, available as possible? But these are as equally as important, especially as you age, right?
Mm,
That
man.
last part.
Yeah. Especially as you age. Yeah. Okay.
Because
All right.
people think
So
about, I have health coverage. Well, that's doesn't really speak to the financial disruption that's going to happen if, in fact, one of these events occur.
exactly. Exactly. I mean, your health coverage may cover, may or will cover your medical expenses, your procedures, but it's not going to pay the light bill.
And most of the time, it doesn't cover all of it.
Yeah. And that part. Yep. Exactly. So this is phenomenal, man. Honestly, for any advisor or agent to leave that out, let me just say it plainly, shame on you,
Mm-hmm.
because it is a phenomenal benefit for a client. And here's what's crazy. I'm like, me, Coop. I think in simple forms, if if an agent is focusing solely on the death benefit and then, what is living benefit of cash value, but you got the big death benefit for your legacy, right? But we won't talk about this wonderful benefit if something tragic happens to you and you happen to stay alive.
Right.
But we're going to talk about the benefit that somebody else gets when you're dead. As if, I mean, that is important, but as if it's not as important or equally as important as covering your bills and household things and the disruption that you mentioned while you're living. I mean, what's to the insured person, what's the most devastating part? I'm living, I've got a condition, and I'm broke.
Right.
Right? Because if I pass or when I pass, that benefits my family and they're gonna be straight. But man, I ain't trying to be on struggle street while I'm living
While you living. And critical.
and critical. This lady, the way she put it, dude. We always explain it and go over it. I'm gonna start using an English accent now just to make it punch harder. I mean, good night. All right, so she's talking about the critical illness, and that applies to the terminal illness riders or whatever policies that you may be interested in. But most of them have a critical chronic terminal illness rider built into your policy. All right. What about the income protection part? What about that? Is that important? I mean, it's rhetorical.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So, do people really think about that though? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you really think about that?
No. The majority?
Yeah.
No.
What? How many people really think? And if you're listening to this, do you think about if something happens to me with illness or whatever, or I lose my job because I can't go to work because of my illness, whatever it is, what am I going to do? Have you ever thought about that and answered it with a solid, like not guessing? I'm talking about a solid, solidified answer. If a person can't answer that, then we got some holes to fill. We got to figure some things out.
Mm-hmm.
You got to figure some things out. If I get sick, if I can't work, and I've got medical bills off the roof, I've got all these expenses that keep rolling in every 30 days. Uncle Bill ain't going nowhere. He come every 30 days, and I don't have a way to handle him. What are you going to do?
And that's not just illness. That's illness or injury.
Or injury? Right, right.
So just because you project managing, if you ever go to a job site, you could get injured and now you can't work anymore. So that's going to be a problem.
I'm gonna share this with y'all. I haven't told either one of y'all this, and this is something that just happened this week. Um, I need to make some of the details a little different for the sake of protecting, people or a
Mm-hmm.
person. So I met an individual this week. I've known of this person. I see this person quite often around my area. Uh, we're not necessarily like we're not buddies, but we are on. It's a lady, But it's like, hey, how you doing? Hope you're having a good day. You know, her and her daughter, 13. See him around, and we just got to chatting. And sometimes you sit with somebody or talk to someone and they just start divulging that they just like vomit their truth on you. You could tell it's been wearing on them and they haven't been able to really process it. So they just like feel like you're a safe place and and they just share their whole heart on you, right? Well, that happened a few days ago. So um, I'm listening. Long story short, because of what we're talking about today, a situation happened health wise in her family that does impact her directly. Um, the ripple effect of all those, that reality, plus the financial devastation that took place from that, where something like this could have prevented.
Mm.
Okay. You see, I'm trying to leave some, yeah. So a policy like this, what this lady's talking about, would have prevented that ripple effect. That ripple effect affected the person I see. And when I sat with her for the first time ever, I didn't even know her name, dude, until that day. Like cool. Here's how crazy it was. We got to talking, and in the middle of one of her sentences, she's like probably 10 minutes in. I said, "I'm sorry, my friend. What's your name?" That's how it was, bro. And she told me her name. I said, "Okay, here's my Armando, blah blah blah." I said, "I'm sorry. That's been kind of hovering as you've been talking. I just feel like I needed to know your name. You telling me all this stuff, right?" So she continues. Long story short, she tells me that all this happened, ripple effect, man. And now she is homeless, living in her truck with her 13-year-old daughter.
Wow.
This took place. I talked to her this was Tuesday, just a few days ago. Okay. And we continued the conversation. She told me some more details that were very disturbing. Um, so we continued and, I did my thing. I'll leave all that part out, but I know as far as just, praying for, speaking life into her situation as much as I could. Um, and just giving her an ear more than anything, somebody that would listen to her. Um, so I saw this video. And you know where my mind went.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody was taking care of their business, that ripple effect wouldn't have happened to the lady that I talked to on Tuesday. So there's even a bigger point to this video where this young lady in England is talking about you and your situation, but what she didn't talk about is how it affects everybody around you.
Right.
That ripple effect. What she's talking about is golden and is absolutely truth and on point. But what about those that are counting on you? Because the lady I talked to, the stuff happened to someone that she was counting on. Ripple effect. Okay. Fortunately, it seems like she's got a plan, a legitimate plan. It's not an immediate fix, but she is grinding, you know, working her way through, right? But it's just so you see stuff like this, but it also goes into that the second video was right, Coop.
Yes.
Where?
Good
It goes
segue.
it goes into that because we're going to play another video, guys, that's going to show you what the first lady was talking about, how it actually plays out in someone who actually did exactly what the first lady was talking about. So it's like this first lady's like, this it is in theory, this is what it is in truth, this is what it is by definition and by application, this is what you can do. This lady we're going to show you now is someone that said, basically, yeah, she ain't lying because I had to. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So we're going to play that video now and let you guys, chat about that in the comments or wherever you like. But here's what we got here. I'm gonna restart the video and here we go.
Policy, and you had to use your insurance policy.
I got my policy when I was 24 years old, $1 million policy. A year and a half ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Oh, shoot, I was super devastated. But my policy, it has living benefits. And with living benefits, it covers an event of a critical, chronic, or terminal illness. So talking about heart attacks, strokes, cancers, end-of-stage renal failure, major organ transplant, ALS, blindness due to diabetes or paralysis. If you get into a situation where you need help dressing, bathing, eating, toileting, or transferring for a period of 90 consecutive days, you can also benefit from your policy. At that point in time, I'm like, okay, let me make this call to my insurance company and file this claim. To understand that you do not have to die to use it is a game changer, because never in a million years did I think that I would have to actually utilize my own life insurance policy. So I just felt like God just really put it in my spirit to talk about it, because I wasn't even gonna talk about it at all. But I'm like, girl, you are in insurance. You can help somebody from a preventative perspective, and you could save somebody's life potentially, because now they can make smarter decisions. They don't necessarily have to do what's pushed on them, because now they have money. You hearing me and my story, like, okay, let me go ahead and get a policy.
Woo, man. We can hang up right there. Thank y'all for coming today. I mean, that hits. Because she's what? She got the policy at 24, so she's probably maybe 30, maybe ish.
Yep.
Ish. So there was someone in the previous video. Let me see. I don't know if y'all saw it. Let me share the screen. I'm gonna let y'all look at it right here. So on the previous video, the lady from across the pond in England, do y'all see this comment right here? This question? Great info. Do you think is worth having all three, especially if you're in your 30s?
Well, the second video just answered that.
Thank you. Yep. Yep. Because I guarantee you, this young lady at getting a policy at 24, she woke up and said, you know what? I'm not invincible. So just in case, you know, let me get my ducks in a row. Let me get this insurance policy that covers these specific things. She probably is looking at all the living benefits, and whoever educated her and got her a contract was a fist bump to whoever did that.
Yeah.
Good job. Whatever agent did that, good job, great job, by making her aware of the living benefits, all of them. Like, not just the one. Cash value, you can go flip a house. All that kind of stuff. It's like, no, you made her aware of all of them. So with that said, our second video, Coop, what you got, man? What spoke to you from this lady speaking?
Well, I mean, comparing the videos, we went from the 30,000-foot view to ground zero, right? And I mean, this woman, God bless her for thinking ahead. 24, at 24, I wasn't thinking about none of that, right?
What you said.
No. But now, she has the option, or had the option when she was diagnosed with cancer, to get a lump sum to take care of her immediate needs, or let's just say if she had a stroke, you could get a lump sum to take care of your immediate needs, whether it's medical, what have you, and then you don't recover in time, right? It takes you a little longer, and you can't do all of your daily activities. Now you have a monthly payment that you can utilize, because now it went from a critical to a chronic illness. You're getting two streams.
Yeah. What about you, Woods? That's good. I don't need to repeat none of that. That was awesome. What about you, Woods?
No, you covered all of it, actually. Thank you, Coop. Appreciate that. Ground zero was definitely where she was.
Yeah.
And the powerful statement for me was, you do not have to die to use the policy. Powerful statement. True words.
True, powerful. this is where a lot of people where we're so passionate about educating folks and waking people up to get out of the programming of life insurance is for death only.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you want to just shake the programming out of people. Like, guys, like it's not just about that. That's one great component, but there are other components that you can use for yourself and protect yourself. You went and got car insurance to protect a piece of plastic, some metal and rubber and vinyl and stuff. And just in case, I get an accident. How come we don't do that with our bodies, man? Well, I got health insurance, Coop. That covers it. Guys, does it?
Nope.
It doesn't. So, oh, this is good. Okay. This young lady, I mean, she really broke it down too. I mean, she went into the depths of it because I guarantee you, when she was diagnosed and she was looking at a way how to get through this financially, obviously physically, mentally, psychologically, and all that. I can't imagine. She did her research on top of what she had already learned prior to buying it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You do your research to acquire it. But then when you hit ground zero, you really start digging in them details.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need something, right? I need something to fix what's going on and help and assist and empower and all that. And she's like, oh, wait a minute.
She knew exactly where to go.
Yep. I knew I had that, but I didn't really, okay. So I can, yep. You see what I'm saying, Coop?
But I wonder, Mondo, how many people have a form of permanent life insurance that don't even realize that those are actual benefits? They only know death benefit, or if I need some cash, I can go to they may not even know that they have these benefits available to them.
You're right.
I would say, okay, I'm gonna be nice about it. I'm gonna be really nice. I would say 50% of the people who buy permanent life insurance have no clue. I'm being nice by saying 50%.
Well, I'm not going to be nice. I'm going to say it's higher than that.
I knew you were gonna say so.
Y'all need to read your insurance policies if you have them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm being nice. I knew Woods was gonna come in. Nah, it's
There ain't no
80,
sense in
bro.
being, look, dude, it's time out for that.
Yeah,
Time
yeah,
out for
you're right.
that.
You're right. You're right. I give it to you. You're right. You're right.
Life is lifing in so many different directions right now. It's time to get covered and know that you covered.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, I agree with you. You're right. You're right.
Shout out to the mindset to have at 24 to get it.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yes. And two, I think one of y'all said, man, at 24, I wasn't thinking about none of this. I know, well,
No.
it's like, man, 20, I can't even remember what I was thinking about at 24. It probably didn't even matter. Like it was just something, whatever. You know what I mean? So the fact that she has done this and protected herself, I mean, what a blessing though, man. I mean, because she didn't know she was gonna get diagnosed with breast cancer.
Right.
But what a blessing. Like she had the mental fortitude and the guidance and the wisdom and the mindset of humility as a 24-year-old. And you're like, what do you mean? She humbled herself to learn something versus thinking she knows everything. Because I know at 24, I thought I knew everything at some
Come
point.
on
You know
now.
what I mean?
We think
So
we're invincible.
you think we're invincible, you can't nobody tell you nothing. But at 24, she humbled herself. She was like, let me receive some wisdom. Let me get my business in order. She did it and it paid off for her. Unfortunately, in this circumstance, she had to use that living benefit, and she wasn't talking about just cash value and out, creating cash flow assets and this and that. She had to use the other ones. Okay, you know,
But
but I didn't.
fortunately, she had those at her, disposal. Right.
Right, right. And what's crazy? Dude, do you see her countenance in that video? She didn't seem sad at all.
No.
She had cancer. She's a victor. And not because she beat cancer, it seems, but because she set herself up. She not only won over the disease as it looks, but she also won over the financial trauma that could have happened.
Right.
She beat two massive things with one decision. Get my stuff in order.
That's good.
And I would say this too, because my mother has had cancer. And I will tell you, we all know people who have had, cancer. Some people have perished by it. Some people have beat it, whatever. We all know people. I would tell you the mindset of someone who's fighting cancer is so important. Any disease, really, but especially with cancer, and because I can relate to it with seeing my mother go through it. If you're going through that, like this young lady, and like my mother and many others, and you have a poor mindset about the fight itself, and lack of finances can hurt your what?
Mindset.
Your mindset. So when not only are you fighting through the reality of the fact that I have this and the medications and the treatments and all the stuff that goes with it, which can be very taxing and all that stuff, but then looming in the back, lack of money.
Mm-hmm.
That can hurt this so badly to where you are in the dumps mentally. Would we say a bad mindset or hard, like maybe a poor mindset, a hard mindset in the dumps, depression or whatever? Do we think that can affect your ability to heal?
Absolutely.
100%. So I truly think I don't know this lady. I don't. I would say my educated guess or my theory, whatever, my assumption is the fact that part of the reason, one, seems like she loves God. So that's a huge part right there. The other part is she was prepared. And the other part is why she seems like she beat it and was happy about it, tell the story, because she had the finances to help not only the financial part, but her mindset, knowing that, okay, I got to just fight through this just from the medical side of things. The money's fine. I just got to stay on my meds. I got my treatment and I got to keep fighting. I got to do the processes, do my herbs or whatever you need to do. But you don't have to worry about those lack of Benjamins, lack of money. You ain't got to worry about that. That's good. So she was able to focus. And now look at this young lady. Doesn't even look like she's been sick or had a cough ever. So I think it's much deeper than just get a policy. So just in case, I think it affects all this, man, in my humble opinion.
No,
Am
you're
I
right.
off, fellas?
Nope.
Or
Not at all. You're right.
Spot on.
so I think with these two videos looking at, okay, well, wow, maybe these guys are talking about insurance in a different light. Well, it's not really a different light. It's the truth. These things have been there. We're just peeling the curtain back if you haven't been back there before. There are some people like this young lady was that she back there.
Yes.
She knows what's up, right? And okay, since you brought up the agents earlier, Woods, you tag me in on that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're working with an agent, love our colleagues out there. I would definitely encourage anyone who's listening to this, if you're an agent, to start educating people on the living benefits outside of just the cash value. Look into other ones that are on there, all the other riders that have benefits to your client. Okay, there's that. But if you're a client and you're looking for permanent life insurance that has these benefits, make sure you ask your agent about that. And if all you hear is death benefit and cash value, ask them about other living benefits that are attached to this policy. Are there any other riders that we can add or what's already included? Ask about those things. Woods, here's a great question. How many people have long-term care benefits in their 30s, 40s, and 50s?
I knew you was gonna say that. 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Think about it.
Less than 30%.
Who even knows about that?
Less than 30%.
Okay,
Who knows there are annuities out there that can turn into long-term care? Well,
bro.
that's another topic. My
That's a
bad.
whole
My
other-
bad. My bad.
No, you good?
But it's there though. But it's there. There are products out there to help with that.
Exactly. You got annuities that can turn into long-term care products.
Come on, man.
Long-term care. Well, what does that mean? Okay, I'll make it real simple. You are old. You can't take care of yourself. It's going to cost money, and that's what it's there for. I'll make it real simple.
For as long as you living,
for as long as you live.
it
You are
pays for
old.
everything.
You are old. You can't take care of yourself. You can't do daily functional stuff. You're struggling. You're recovering from the bad, whatever, this, that, and the other, and you need help. Long-term care benefits are there for you for the rest of your life. That's what it is. Now, with that point, and we say 30% of people know about long-term care. Let's talk about the other 70%, the people who don't know about it. All right. Oh, well, yeah, 30% know about it, 70% do not. Isn't it crazy how you can get a life insurance policy that has these living benefits that mimic, if you will, long-term care needs, and people don't even realize it?
Mm-hmm.
It, to a degree, it's not long-term care, but it can kind of act and assist as such or supplement. You see I'm splitting hairs here? You know what
Yes.
I mean? It is not a long-term care policy that's in your permanent life insurance policy. It's a rider that functions with chronic, terminal, critical illnesses that can assist you in a very similar way to long-term care. Now, it's not going to sustain throughout the rest of your life, most likely, depending on your policy. Okay. But it will do some short and midterm care for sure.
Absolutely.
But there are people who have policies that don't even know that. Don't even know that. It's like, man, it's so what's the solution then, Craig? Like
Well, I think
what
some people do know. I think maybe there are some. I think there are some agents out there or brokers out there that mentioned it,
hmm
but because of the mid-20s, mid-30s,
uh
they're not thinking about I'm gonna be old one day and need a little.
okay, I'm going hard in the paint.
Go
You
ahead.
you tee me up, bro, because I feel
They
you.
they
You're
never
right.
for they never forecasted like I'm gonna be 30 forever.
But you forecasted you're gonna die though.
Right.
Because you cool with the death benefit.
Right. For somebody else, not for you, for
Right, for
somebody else.
somebody else. Like you cool with the death benefit that someone else is gonna receive, and you like, yeah, I got 1 million, I got 2 million. Yep. Okay, I got the cash value, but I got that million. But then when it comes to the other living benefits, that's not sexy.
Mm-mm.
So we ain't gonna talk about that. But that benefits you.
Right.
I guarantee, but look, I guarantee if you're 35, 40 years old, whatever it is, and you have a policy and something unfortunate happens, you get diagnosed with something, you are going to be clamoring for any resource you can grab to make sure that you can sustain your life, that you can pay your bills. You ain't gonna be complaining about, man, they put them living benefits on my permanent life insurance policy. You ain't gonna be complaining then. You're gonna be like, hey, didn't somebody say one time when I signed up years ago for that policy, there was a living thing about a critical something, this, that. Did I hear that right? Because I need to tap into that if possible. I had a lady tell me one time, this is nutty, man. In Nashville, Woods, we were talking about her policy, and she said, I don't want these little riders that come on with it. Can you take that off? I
Mm.
said, it's actually part of it, but I don't want it. It comes with it. I mean, it's like you asking for a Whopper with no meat. You know what I'm saying? Like it comes with it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's like, what do you want? And she was like, well, I don't want it. She said, oh, especially this one. This dismemberization. I said single dismemberment. That one. Yeah, I don't. What is that? I said, well, if you lose an arm, a limb, a leg, an eyeball, it'll cover you for, $20,000, per, limb, per eye. I don't need that. I hope you don't. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I feel you, but it's a part of it. I don't want it. We're going back and forth, man, back and forth, cool. So after a while, she's like, fine, fine, you ain't gonna let up. So okay, yeah, that's fine. I guess it's better to have it and not need it. I'm like, yeah, exactly. So we do it. All right. Some time goes by, a couple years, easy. I get a phone call, and she said, She said, "Hey, Mr. Grimes." This part is silly. What she said. Though. She said, "Mr. Grimes, I'm calling to file a claim on my insurance policy." I said, "Now I'm gonna use the name Linda just for example." And she said, "This is Linda." I said, "Oh yeah, 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 over on such and such street." She was like, "Yeah." I said, "You're filing a claim on your life insurance policy, but you're calling me." I said, "Question: Where you calling me from? Because if you're dead right now," I was like, "This is spooky." Like, what do you mean you want to? I said, "You talking about on your policy?" She said, "Yeah, on my policy." Cool. She's not filling in the blanks. Right? I'm like, I'm so lost right now. You're calling to file a death claim on yourself. She said, "No, Mr. Grimes, not a death claim." Oh, you should have led with that. Okay.
Mhm.
Got it. Which one are you talking about? She said the single dismember thing. I said, "Oh, okay. What happened?" She said, well, I was in Nashville hanging out with my friends. I got mugged and I lost an eye.
Mm.
I need to file a claim." Mr. Grimes? "Yes, ma'am. I'll get on it." "You have the medical records?" "I do." "Can you email them to me?" "Yes, sir." We processed it. She got her 20 grand. All for somebody who didn't want it or need it, didn't think they was going to need it. She didn't know that that incident was going to happen, Coop. You know? So, and this lady was in her 40s at the time, early 40s. So that's one example. I'm trying to bring it, ground zero, Coop. You know what I mean? I'm trying for, like, that's an example I have. Like, I don't, this is a lady that knew about it and didn't want it.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna need that. Okay. Like I said, I hope not. Right. So, like you don't get, towing on your insurance because you don't think you don't need it until you get stuck on the side of the highway. Right. So, yeah, man, this is very interesting. I think that the living benefits for all of our clients, for us, we make that a thing, a massive thing.
Mhm.
If you're talking to someone and they're trying to help you out with an insurance policy, bring it up if they haven't already. Like, why would you not talk about all the benefits of the contract? Like all of them, every single one.
Right. You're already talking.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You're already talking.
already included. Like you're not upselling these riders. It's already a part of your contract.
Mhm.
And great simple point. You're already talking. You might as well talk about the rest of it.
Already talking. Might as well cover it all.
Exactly. Exactly. This is phenomenal, man. This is so empowering. Listening to this lady's story, it made me think about Linda
Mhm.
and her situation. And just how many others I know that have had some life happen, right? It's so many awesome benefits to these permanent life insurance policies, and even term has its benefits as well, as we've all talked about. They all have a wonderful purpose and do phenomenal things based upon what you're using it for. In this conversation regarding permanent, whether it be whole life, mutual whole life or the IUL, whatever, you can't leave this stuff out. And I really believe that if you're talking to someone, bring it up if they haven't already, like I said earlier, and focus on the fact that, okay, cool. I've got a death benefit for my family. Something happens to me, it can take care of them. I've got living benefits, cash value, and I can learn how to strategize and use that the right way by, doing the strategies that you should be taught, as well as I have kind of these emergency, provisions and riders on there to where if this happens, or this happens, I make sure that, the boat doesn't sink. We can still pay the bills. We can still take care of ourselves. We have some extra medical bills that maybe the health insurance isn't covering. So we can plug all those holes. We can make sure that all that is good and sustain our lifestyle through this season of whatever's going on. That right there, man, show me another kind of contract was cool that can do that. I don't know of one.
Mm-mm.
I don't. So, any other thoughts on this, man? Well, thank you these ladies for hooking us up. But any other thoughts on this rider conversation, these living benefits, anything that you guys want to offer in last words?
I think we pretty much covered it all, but to the point that we've been talking about, make sure that if you are going to get a policy, make sure you understand and make sure your agent can explain it to you thoroughly, and you understand all of the benefits that come with the policy, not just the benefit and the cash accumulation.
There it is. Nothing else to say.
And I'm going to add, please, please, please do not wait for a diagnosis to come through and then try to go out and get this policy.
Yeah. Yep. We've seen that, unfortunately.
That's going to be a disappointing day.
Mm-hmm. So let's get our stuff in order, people.
Yep.
Get education on what you can do for yourself while you're living with a life insurance policy.
Mm-hmm.
With a life insurance policy. Keyword life. So with that said, man, from myself, Brother Woods, Brother Coop, we are thankful you guys are here hanging out with us, having a great conversation. Leave your comments down in the boxes below. Like the video, share it, all that good stuff, because I'm sure you know someone that can use the information. So with that said, we appreciate y'all from the AMG Podcast. We will see you guys next week. Y'all have a good one.